All right, let's get right into it. The Nothing Phone 3A. Everyone's talking about it. But the real question is, should you actually buy it? We're going to break it all down and figure out if this thing is a brilliant deal or honestly, just a massive pain.
And look, we're not going to beat around the bush. The review we're diving into starts with this promise, to tell you the stuff other reviewers might be glossing over. It's all about brutal honesty here.
So, let's just cut to the chase, shall we? If you're in the US and use AT&T or Verizon, stop what you're doing. Seriously, what we're about to cover could save you from a major headache. For everybody else, well, you might just be looking at your next phone.
Okay, first things first, let's talk about this sizzle. You know, the good stuff, the things that make this phone an absolute head-turner. We're talking design and display, which are like the core of this phone's whole vibe.
I mean, just look at it. The biggest reason people want this phone is right here. The source review literally called it a cyberpunk fever dream. And you know what? They're right. You pull this thing out at a coffee shop and I guarantee someone's gonna ask, whoa, what phone is that? It's a conversation starter for sure.
Okay, but here's the catch. As cool as it looks, it is also, well, a giant brick. We're talking 6.77 inches. The review is super clear on this. If you like using your phone with one hand, or you just don't have massive hands, you're gonna have a bad time. It's a two-hander, no doubt about it.
All right, and the Glyph lights. The flashy lights on the back, what's the deal with those? Well, the review puts it pretty bluntly. They're mostly a gimmick. Yeah, it's kind of cool to set a special pattern for your partner or your best friend, but for everything else, it's a neat trick that loses its magic pretty fast.
The display, though. Oh man, that's a whole different ballgame. That number you see, 3,000 nits, that is bonkers for a phone in this price range. I'm talking, the reviewer was out in the middle of the desert, direct sunlight, and could see the screen clear as day. This is a flagship-level screen on a budget.
Okay, so we've seen the good stuff, the sizzle. Now it's time for a big ol' reality check. We've got to talk about the flaws, the problems, and the absolute deal breakers, especially if you live in the US.
And yeah, for US buyers, this is where it turns into a bit of a nightmare. See, it's not sold like a normal phone. It's part of a beta program. What does that mean? Basically, no real warranty, no carrier support, and even worse, if you're on T-Mobile, it's missing a critical frequency band. So good luck getting a signal in the countryside or even some big building.
But for anyone on AT&T or Verizon, oh, it gets so much worse. You know that thing that makes your calls sound clear over 4G? VoLTE? Yeah, it just doesn't work. Your calls will literally drop down to 3G. I'm not kidding. We're about to be in 2025, and this phone will make calls like it's 2010. It is mind-boggling.
And even if you can get past the network stuff, there's this whole list of little annoyances. The buttons are apparently placed so badly you're always taking screenshots by accident, no wireless charging, it's only splash resistant so don't drop it in the pool, and that ultra-wide camera, the reviewer basically called it a complete joke.
Okay, I know, it sounds pretty bad, but wait. Just when you're ready to write this phone off completely, it has a secret weapon, a really clever AI feature that might, and I mean might, make all those other problems worth ignoring.
It's called Essential Space, and it's actually genius. So you see something interesting, right? You hit this one special button and capture it. It could be a photo, a screenshot, even a quick voice memo. And then the AI just takes over. It figures out what you captured and turns it into something useful automatically.
Here's a perfect example from the review. The person saw a poster for a concert. They just took a picture of it. That's it. Essential Space automatically scanned it, found the band, the date, the time, the location, and created a Google Calendar event for them. No typing, no nothing. It's like having a personal assistant for all the random stuff you see every day.
Of course, there's always a catch. Two, actually. First, all this smart AI stuff happens in the cloud, not on your phone. So if you're big on privacy, that might make you a little nervous. And second, it's free for now. The review points out that this could easily become a subscription service, maybe costing like $120 a year.
So with all that in mind, how does this phone actually stack up against the competition? Well, there's one main rival, the Google Pixel 8a. Let's put him in the ring, head-to-head, and see who wins.
Okay, this chart really breaks it down for you. Here's the deal. You should get the Nothing phone if you absolutely want that zoom lens, that huge bright screen, that clever Essential Space AI, and super fast charging. On the other hand, you should get the Pixel if the camera is the most important thing to you, if you want guaranteed updates for years, or, let's be real, if you're on AT&T or Verizon in the US. It's that simple. And let's just zero in on that charging speed for a second, because it's a huge win for nothing. 19 minutes to get to half a battery. That's it. Meanwhile, the Pixel takes over 40 minutes. That's the difference between plugging it in while you take a quick shower and being ready to go versus having to wait around. It's a game changer.
All right, we've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. We've seen the secret weapon and how it stacks up against the Pixel. So, what's the bottom line? Let's get to the final verdict.
Look, it really comes down to this simple choice. The checkmark? That's you if you're not in the US, you think this design is amazing, and you want flagship toys on a budget. Go for it. The big X? That's you if you're on AT&T or Verizon, period. Or if you live anywhere rural in the States. Or if you just need a camera you can count on. If that's you, just throw this idea in the trash.
And this quote from the source just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It's a phone with phenomenal value. The hardware is amazing for the price, but it's all sabotaged, just totally crippled by this bizarre refusal to actually support the US market properly. So, the final score? It's an 8 out of 10, which is really good. But you have to imagine a giant asterisk next to that number, because that's the score for someone in Europe, or maybe on T-Mobile in a big city. If you're that person on AT&T out in the sticks, that score would probably be closer to a 2 out of 10. It's that different. And that's really what it all comes down to, right? It leaves us with this one big question. Can a phone really be called phenomenal if it's been sabotaged for millions of potential customers? It's this weird mix of brilliant tech and just baffling decisions. And ultimately, you're the one who has to decide if that brilliant tech is worth the gamble.